Hello, Frontline Teach. This is Val again, and I am here to talk with you about communication skills. Sometimes people express surprise that we cover communication skills in an HIV education course, but they're actually really crucial to people who don't have information or good information about HIV, getting good information about HIV, and to those of us who are living with the virus or work with people who are living with the virus, it's really important to sort of help us respect each other's autonomy and find the best solutions together. So this is not to say that you don't already have communication skills. Obviously, you already have communication skills. But we're going to cover here some models that can be useful in our work against HIV. You may already have encountered these. The Plicit model, the reflective listening realm, or the avoiding advice, motivational interviewing, and the stages of change model. So we're going to spend a little more time on all of these. The Plicit model asks the question, what does someone want from a supportive listener? And this was developed in the 70s in sort of nursing home settings, but it's really applicable to our situation here today, because what it says, and it's actually an acronym from the next 4 bullet points here, but that what someone wants from a supportive listener, someone who's listening to you as you go through what your problems are. The number one thing that people want is permission to talk, and that's where that P is. Permission to express yourself, to know that you're being heard. Less people than that want some limited information. And most times if somebody is in a situation with a supportive listener, they're not really going to that supportive listener to help them, or to have that listener solve their problems. They really just want permission to talk. Sometimes they want some information from that listener. Less often than that, and that's why it's tinier than these, is specific suggestions about what they should do. And even fewer people than that want intensive therapy or answers to extremely technical questions. Most people don't want technical answers. And if that's the first place that your mind goes, to extremely technical answers, you might not be serving their skill. So it's important to remember that when you're talking with folks, mostly what people want is the ability to express themselves. And misunderstanding in this realm is really understandable. Consider this. This is how communication works. Okay, so person 1, right there, clearly busy lady, she has a thought, and she wants to share it with someone. So her brain picks the words out of her vocabulary that she wants to use. Then the nerves send the word one at a time to the mouth, and the mouth speaks, right? So already it's not as easy as just, oh, we will pick some words. It's a complicated process to even get words from brain to mouth. So the mouth speaks, and they go into the ear of listener number 2. Person number 2, really, who is the listener in this scenario. So person 2, their ears hear the sound. The nerves from their ears send the patterns of the sound to the brain to decode. And those patterns are interpreted into something that has meaning for them. So when they're trying to formulate the response, their response is based on what their brain has interpreted, but it might not mean, they might not be interpreting the things the way that the first person intended. So brain thinks of a response, brain picks words out, nerve sends words to mouth, and the mouth speaks back. Here's our response to the lady. So first person here, the ears hear words, the brain interprets the patterns, and she says, I think you misunderstood me. I don't think that we're on the same page at all. They're just having a friendly conversation, but it can be really easy through all of these complicated things to misunderstand what it is that someone's saying. So here's an exercise that you can do at home or that you can do with friends about reflective listening. So we cannot respond to someone appropriately. We cannot respond to someone that we're helping unless we're actually listening to them. If we're just responding off the top of our head, we're not doing them a service. Check your assumptions at the door. Don't rush. Give people time to get their thoughts out. This is something that is personally really challenging for me sometimes. I've heard a lot of different questions about HIV. I've been doing this for a long time. And sometimes someone will start in on a question and I think that I already know the answer to it. And I want to give it to them, so I'll interrupt them. But they actually were going through a whole thing where they were laying out what they already knew, and we're going to build on that to get to the actual question. And so they hadn't even gotten to their actual question. So it's really important that we give people time to get their thoughts fully out. They may surprise you. Here's a key question. Do you mean? So if somebody says, let's say, for instance, I'm a very organized person. That could mean that they keep their closet in great shape, right? It could also mean that they know all of the sort of different people in their lives and how those people might interact with them. It could also mean that is socially organized. It could mean that that person is an organizer. That's actually the thing that I should have said, because I'm clearly just extemporizing. But if someone says, I'm a good organizer, it could mean that they bring people together in really effective ways. It could mean that they keep their closet in great shape. It could mean that they are a book that has a calendar in it that is 2008. So any of those things, we won't know which it is they mean unless we ask more. If we just assume, if they say, I'm a good organizer, and I feel like I'm a good organizer too, and so I assume that they mean for political action. But they really mean about their closet, which is something that I enjoy, but I'm not very good at. It can be really easy for me to just off the top of my head misunderstand them, not even trying. And effective responding in this, we are not going to be able to effectively respond to anybody unless we understand what it is that they're saying. So effective responding is affirming, is not advice. In the next session, we're going to talk about alternatives to advice and explore the other communication modules, communication skills that I mentioned earlier. The stages of change model and motivational interviewing. So join me there. I'll see you after the cut.